All right, all right, all right. What is up, YouTube? Oh, what is up, fellow fantasy people? And what is up, the Catch fam? Man, I might wait for a couple of homies to hop in here, man. I might wait for the Catch fam. I think I need you guys. Um, well, what happened today? Today was the worst day of football ever. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens on at the moment. And I don't know. Today was rough. Rio Goaded, what's up, man? Happy you're in here. Good to see you as always, man. Hope you had a better Sunday than I did in terms of fantasy football. Uh, I'm still under 80 points in my 12-man league. My co-host Steven's mom is slapping me sideways. Um, Real good. I'm so done with James Robinson. I can't. I'm benching him or trading him. Yeah, man. I benched him today actually, but I benched him in favor of Corey Davis, man, who had less than 2 points, and I really panicked before the Sunday games kicked off, and I added Cole Kmet to my roster, and I started him over Mike Gesicki. And I mean that's just the start, man. That's just the start. Let's talk about my toe man league. Okay, I've got Lamar in there right now, who's under 16 points at the moment. Uh, for a long period of time, this game he had negative points. I don't know if he's going to. Oh man, I just did what I did last night, where I advanced the week and I simmed another game in Madden. Looks like, or did I? Think I did. Anyways, it's just Madden, not the problem here, man. Christian McCaffrey had a really good game for me today, man. 22 points, half PPR, right? Uh, Other than that, man, David Montgomery under 10 points. Bad game out of David Montgomery. Weird game for the Bears, man. They weren't in the game at all, and then out of nowhere, their defense decided they were going to play some football. 3 interceptions, right? Weird game. Lots of weird games today, man. So much to talk about, and Sunday night's not even over. Who knows what's going to happen in tomorrow Monday's Monday night game against Green Bay and Detroit, right? Weird week 2. Possibly the strangest. Hey, I just hit 80 points. Just hit 80 points in fantasy. Want you guys to know. Uh, Antonio Brown, who I told everyone in the Catch fam to start. 2 points, 3 points, depending on your scoring format. Uh, Tim Patrick, good game. He scored, right? Half PPR, 11 points or so. Full PPR, had a better day, right? Started Cole Kmet, not even a single point in half PPR. So that was good. Like I said, Jarvis Landry, or not Jarvis Landry, Corey Davis, half PPR, under 2 points. Matt Gay, kicker of the LA Rams, good game today, 9 points for me. Rams defense, 8 points, not a bad game. Not a bad game, man. My bench, I mean, James Robinson, Javonte Williams, should have started both of them, I guess. I mean, they had just under 8 points each in half PPR. Terrace Marshall Jr., we didn't see anything out of today. Not really promising. Chenault Jr., injured, under a point in half PPR. Sammy Watkins is on the field. He's got about 5 points. Not an awful bench player, right? Mike Gesicki, we benched over 5 points, right? Steven's mom is slapping me sideways, like I said. I mean, Derrick Henry had over 40 points for her. I mean, and that really says it all, man. I mean, Mike Williams, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Herbert had a bad game. Noah Fant had a good game. She's got Williams on the Ravens in there. She had the Washington football team. I mean, this was a winnable game for me and my team. I was scared I wasn't even going to put up 70 points today, man. What was today, man? I mean, Tua's out for the year. I mean, he's not really out for the year. We don't know. He's got that rib injury. So I'm absolutely screwed in my 20-man league, man. The only other quarterbacks on the waiver wire in my 20-man league are Taylor Heineke, who I have a waiver in for. We need to cross our fingers that I get that waiver. Because outside of that, we got Andy Dalton, Taysom Hill, man. So we'll get in my 20-man league. I mean, that was arguably worse than my 12-man league. So we'll get into that. Real goated. Really mad that Jarvis Landry got hurt. James Robinson and Allen Robinson cost me my week this week. You're not the only one, man. I'm not trying to downplay your situation, man, by any means, but this was a rough week for a lot of fantasy owners, man. Uh, the process: should I trade Damian Harris and Javonte for Elijah Mitchell and Mike Davis? It's a good question, man. If you're asking me, I would not do that. I think that Javonte Williams is still having pretty decent overall, shares in that backfield. He actually had a pretty good game. We're just waiting for him to get in the end zone, right? He had a pretty good game week 1 too for a rookie, right? Just didn't get into the end zone, right? So I would not trade away Javonte Williams, and I think Damian Harris has had pretty good usage overall as well. So if you're asking me, man, I actually like both those players at the moment. But, geez, man, the way I've been calling fantasy today, I don't know if you should listen to me, man. But in all seriousness, yeah, I do like both those guys. I don't know if I would roll with that trade just yet. It'd probably be a good time to do it. I mean, Damian Harris looked pretty good out there today. And, every time I see Elijah Mitchell, I start thinking of the wrong player. But hey, Elijah Mitchell, in case you didn't see, man, if I'm not mistaken, got hurt today. So that'd be a big reason to not, conduct that trade as well. So, yeah, if you're asking me, I like both those players that you already have, and I would hold on to them, right? And Elijah Mitchell didn't really have a great game today either, and the injury is relatively concerning as well. So, yeah, I would stick with the players that you already have, man. I think that they're going to suit you a little bit better. I want to see Mike Davis's final stat line as well for the day. That is, and I mean, just under 10 points, not awful, but yeah, man. If you're asking me, I would hold on to Damian Harris and Javonte Williams, right? So we actually see the Baltimore Ravens just scored, and now they're going for 2. So it looks like we got a good Monday night game to do some call outs on as well while we're rolling through Madden and talking about I mean, am I the only one, man, or was this I mean, week 1 was weird, but week 2 has been way weirder. I mean, let me know in the chat what you guys think today's weirdest outcome was, because for me, today was just unbelievable. I mean, every time I looked up at the screen watching Red Zone, I was just in disbelief, man. Okay, so Tampa Bay Buccaneers absolutely obliterated the Atlanta Falcons, man. I mean, Tom Brady and Robert Gronkowski look like they are in their prime. Like, like nothing has changed, man. It's ridiculous, right? And I mean, I don't mind it, but it's just I wish that I only targeted Buccaneers players, right? But how how in the world does Antonio Brown have such a bad game, man? And I do need to point this out before moving on to some more coverage of some of these games, as Hollywood Brown just got that 2-point conversion here for the Ravens. So yeah, good game we've got going on with the Chiefs and Ravens. I did tell a lot of you guys to sit DJ Moore, and I was not as aware that Marcus Lattimore was going to be, such a possibility to not play, right? And obviously he was inactive. And during my live stream this morning, I was trying to get that out to as many people as I could, that he was inactive and that DJ Moore was a good start due to the inactive call for that of Lattimore, right? So I do apologize, guys, for any of you guys who benched DJ Moore on my recommendation. And the 2-point conversion was called back for the Ravens, and the Chiefs have intercepted it, and they tried to do a little reverse there and fumbled it. But yeah, I just want to say my bad if you guys benched DJ Moore, who scored today. He had a good game today out there, against the Lattimore-less Saints, if that's a word I can use. But Yeah, man. Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, I don't think this was really weird. I think we expected them to beat up on the Atlanta Falcons, but the fact that we did not see AB really be involved at all. I mean, that one, would have been touchdown pass to him at the beginning of the game. I mean, just a perfect last second tip by the defender, right? So weird game, if you're asking me, just because Antonio Brown didn't do anything, man. Uh, Tennessee Titans, Seattle Seahawks was a fun game, man. Overtime game, right? Derrick Henry really led that comeback, man. I mean, he plays his best football in the second half, right? And we saw that today, man. We truly saw that today. Uh, Crazy game, man. I really thought that the Seahawks were going to win this game, and just another weird game, man. I mean, Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett, are they the best deep ball connection in the NFL? Maybe the second best after Patty Mahomes and that of Tyreek Hill, right? But man, these games today just blew my mind, right? I mean, Tua's out, like we went over. Carson Wentz is probably out. Andy Dalton went down with the injury, right? So we saw our guy Justin Fields go out there, but he didn't play that well. There was a point today where it looked like Baker Mayfield was hurt. There's a point today where it looked like Derek Carr may have been hurt. Uh, so it was a weird game. Not weird game. A weird day for a lot of things, man. A really gloomy day of NFL action, if you're asking me. And this morning, I kind of was like, man, I'm worried about how today's going to turn out. I just had a bad feeling, and I really didn't like my lineups. And listen, man, it's a long season, but today was rough, man, really rough. Process, I have Tyson Williams too. I want to trade some of these guys while their value is high. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, man. If you're asking me, I would deal Tyson Williams over uh, the latter, But I don't have a problem with wanting to trade those guys while their value is high. I think that's pretty smart. But at the same time, I just want to make sure that you're getting good value in return. And a half injured Elijah Mitchell and a Mike Davis who really hasn't shown much of anything. And I don't like the way Atlanta's offense looks right now, right? So those two particular players, I am not high on at the moment, but I don't have a problem with wanting to trade some of your running backs away if you think you have good depth and you can get some other good players as well. So uh, just keep that in mind, man. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's pretty strategic, but just be leery of the value that you're going to get in turn and make sure that you're not hurting yourself down the stretch as well. Um, so yeah, man. But let me know, what type of depth you have and what's some other potential players you think you can snag are as well. So Dallas Cowboys at Chargers today. This was, a game that I don't think that was really that weird. I mean, Justin Herbert didn't have that great of a game, right? We saw Tony Pollard get in the end zone, but we also saw Zeke get in the end zone, right? And outside of Justin Herbert, not really having a great fantasy day, I thought it was a pretty good game overall. And I actually chose the Cowboys to win this game, right? And it was a really tough game to call. And not surprised that it was decided by just 3 points, right? But nonetheless, man, we saw Mike Williams score. Keenan Allen played well. I really like both those two receivers, right? Uh, what I haven't looked at today that I'm going to pull up really quick is Austin Eckler's final stat line for the day. Um, that's something I'm interested to see how he did today. Let's see. Yeah, he had a good game, man. 18 points. Yeah. 9 targets, 9 receptions. That's that PPR value that we've been waiting for, man. We did not see in week one. And then 9 rushing attempts for 54 yards. And that's really where, Austin Eckler gets that value is through those receptions, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think this game was pretty much what we thought it was going to be. So, not that strange, right? Arizona Cardinals, Minnesota Vikings, another a weird game if you're asking me, man. I mean, Cardinals only won by a point, but Rondell Moore, someone I benched in my 20-man league, really emerging as the wide receiver 3. In his rookie season, you could argue he's looking like a wide receiver two out there, right? But Christian Kirk still looked really good today, man. D Hop looked good. This Cardinals team is for real, but they did kind of let the Vikings sneak back in there, man. So we've got a 2nd and 12 for Patty Mahomes out there. But yeah, Chandler Jones looked good out there. I don't want to say this was a weird game because the Cardinals did win and they played very, very well offensively, but they did show that they're not invincible on the defensive side of things, right? As we finally sack Ryan Fitzpatrick here in Madden. But yeah, I thought it was a good game overall, and I was glad to see this, the Vikings kind of battle back, right? Buffalo Bills at Miami Dolphins, man. Gosh, man, I'm blown, man. I feel like I'm cursing players. I have to admit, right? Jerry Judy was like my top guy in the offseason, and one of the other guys I talked about all offseason was Tua. And here in week 1 and week 2, they've both been injured. So uh, I don't know, man. It's rough. I took a lot of blows today. Every time I looked up at the screen, something very bad was happening, and Tua went out early. I mean, I'm happy that it was a rib injury, right? Because that is at least something that he could potentially come back from. It looked like that when he first got up, I thought it might be something going on with his hip. But it's unfortunate, man. We hate to see any injuries, of course, but that one, wow, what a good interception against the interception I just threw here in Madden. But uh, that was rough, man. That was really rough for a guy that I really wanted to see play well this season. Both the running backs on the Bills played really well today too. But yeah, just a total blowout. I thought the Bills were going to win the game, and I just because they needed a victory right after the way they played in Week 1, and they showed a little bit more of what we were expecting out of the Bills in the preseason and offseason, right? And I mean, granted, that Tua was out of the game. That Dolphins defense is pretty good, right? They didn't have any injuries, and Xavier Howard played well. But at the end of the day, Dolphins did not do enough, right? Chicago Bears at the Cincinnati Bengals. I chose the Bengals to win this game, and this was a really weird football game as well. The Bengals were in a good position, but they weren't doing enough to really edge out the Bears, and then just out of nowhere, man, 3 interceptions by that of Joe Burrow. I mean, we saw that crazy pick 6 by Roquan Smith, right? And I almost picked up the Bears defense, and I stuck with Carolina's defense in my 20-man league, right? And Carolina played very, very well. We'll get to them, a couple minutes too. But Chicago Bears defense looked really good today against a Bengals team that I expected to play better. But yeah, the big news out of this game, Andy Dalton goes down with an injury. Justin Fields goes in, and then Andy Dalton comes back out and replaces Justin Fields, and then Andy Dalton gets injured again, and then Justin Fields came in for real, right? And I think he wasn't expecting to be thrown into the game, and respect to our guy Justin Fields, right? But he didn't play too well today. He played okay. But we've seen some rookies be thrown into games, Justin Herbert last year, right? And 6 for 13, 60 yards and an interception for that of Justin Fields, man. Definitely a lot of improvement against not the best defense in the league whatsoever, right? And the Cincinnati Bengals. So, Allen Robinson dropped that 1 touchdown, right? That should have been a catch. Should have been a touchdown for Justin Fields. Would have helped out that stat line. But weird game. Really weird game. But Chicago Bears did win under that of Justin Fields. So it was just a weird game, right? It was just kind of gloomy, like a lot of these, 1 o'clock games were, right? I don't like to see any injuries, right? Even if it's Andy Dalton, it means that Justin Fields gets to go in there. But yeah, just a weird Sunday, man. Process. If Tua is out for a while, I wonder if they will make another push for Deshaun. Listen, man, all I have to really say, and I'm high on Tua. Tua time has been one of my motifs here in the offseason as I'm looking up and watching Lamar Jackson run right through the Chiefs, man. But I got to keep reminding myself that there's football on, and I'm trying to do some call outs too here. But yeah, listen, man, my view on that is, these rumors between the Eagles and the Dolphins making a push for that of Deshaun Watson. If you're asking me, rumors surface from the truth, right? They surface from someone leaking something. Uh, we'd like to think that they just appear out of nowhere, off of speculation, but I think it's a little deeper than that. And I think you make a good point, man. I can definitely see, uh, I can definitely see the Dolphins making a big push for that of Deshaun Watson. And Tua time, like I said, was one of my motifs for the offseason. Really had faith in him, man. And listen, his season's not done. We don't really know the severity of the injury, right? Uh, but I don't know, man. It looks pretty bad. It looks bad for Tua's future, if you're asking me. I mean, uh, Drew Brees has played through like broken ribs and a punctured lung from his ribs, for example, right? We don't know how severe it is, right? And I do definitely think that uh, if Deshaun Watson can play this season, that it's a possibility that the Dolphins do make a big run for him. And even if he can't, mm, I can see the Dolphins still trying to make a run for him. And the way that Justin Fields has been playing, uh, I would say it's more likely that the Dolphins are in the works for a trade, involving that of Deshaun Watson. And when you look at their roster, you look at the skill position guys, really outside of the running back room, who I haven't been impressed with. When you look at that defense, although they got absolutely blown up today, right? There's enough talent on that team that they should be in the run for Deshaun Watson. As Lamar Jackson, whew, second and 10, gains about 8 or 9 yards, just bouncing all over the place, right? It's Crypt. What's going on, man? Happy to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you had a better Sunday in regards to fantasy than I did, man. Hope you're doing well tonight. We bounced back. Yeah, man. This game was looking pretty gloomy for the Ravens, and I'm definitely happy to see this turning into a good game, right? Chris Jones, who just involved in that second down play. Tyrann Mathieu, both back for the Kansas City Chiefs tonight, right? Definitely have both been making an impact. 2 interceptions by Tyrann Mathieu early on, but hey, give it to your team. Give it to the Ravens, man. They're hanging in this game. They're playing tough football. Lamar Jackson showing some poise, right? Happy to see him, kind of leading this team with a team that's really decimated by injuries, right? So it's Crypt, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, Kelsey, Najee, Dalvin, and Pat's defense with Aaron Jones tomorrow against the Detroit Lions. I would kindly add uh, up by 8 with 150, though. Yeah, man, you must be playing a pretty good squad. But yeah, man, if you missed it, and great job, man, great lineup. It looks like it came together for you. Happy to hear that, man. Truly am. But yeah, uh, let's see. After that last drive, I just broke 88 points here, uh, and I'm down 40 points, and my opponent has Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyson Williams, and the Lions kicker in my 12-man league. In my 20-man league, I haven't even gotten to that yet. I don't even want to bring it up, man. It was bad. I mean, you already know that too is my starter there. So things are looking grim, man, to say the least. And today was today was a tough one, man. And I don't know if I just feel that way in regards to my fantasy roster, because I don't, right? We saw a lot of injuries, and man, when Baker went down initially, I thought that was really bad. I thought that he really messed up his shoulder, and I was really worried that we were going to lose Baker as well, who's been another guy who we've talked about a lot on this channel, right? And Derek Carr went down, and man, we got to talk about that Raiders game as well. It's Crypt. He's got Tyreek Hill, LOL. Yeah, man. Never know what our guy Tyreek's gonna do. Uh, but if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Tyreek's not having a great game right now, which is crazy. And, I'm looking at our Catch Fam official roster, and we're down 5 points. We've got Robert Tanyan tomorrow, but then our opponent's got Aaron Rodgers, and we've got Patty Mahomes and Tyreek Hill on the Catch Fam 10-man league roster. We had a rough day today, man. Jason Sanders had 0 points. We actually had a good day, but our opponent just had a good day too. We're right in there, man. For your sake, man, I hope Tyreek Hill stays on this downward kind of trajectory. But in terms of the Catch Fam roster, I hope that he kind of turns it up, because I don't want to have 3 losses this week in fantasy. One of them include our Catch Fam official roster. But yeah, I hope it works out for you, man. I truly, truly do. But geez, man. I'm hoping for a good finish here with this Sunday night game. It looks like we're going to get one, man. It looks like the Ravens pick up a first down with Tyson Williams. But Broncos and Jaguars, man. A weird game. I'm not surprised that the Broncos won, and it was just not the exact type of game script I thought we were going to see. Tim Patrick got in the end zone, so I made one right call today. Tim Patrick scored. He had a good game, man. Happy to see that. Happy to see him replacing our guy Jerry Jeudy, who, like I mentioned, I may have already cursed, right? So this game was just a little weird, right? Trevor Lawrence definitely making too many pass attempts, right? Why is James Robinson not being involved in this offense? It really is baffling me. I just don't know if Urban Meyer's offensive scheme is really going to work in the NFL. And maybe I'm overreacting, right? But I'm not very confident in the Jacksonville Jaguars offensively as well, right? But this Broncos defense looked pretty good, right? And we already know that they're pretty good overall, but as a whole, man, I was impressed with them today, man. I think that, we were talking about Tua going to the Dolphins potentially and all the weapons there, as Lamar throws almost an interception and or touchdown, incomplete pass, right? But man, think about the Broncos, right? I mean, they're really one of those teams you hear about in the Aaron Rodgers rumors, right? Team we're playing with in Madden, right? Team outside of the quarterback position, absolutely loaded. Great defense, great skill position players, great running backs, good O-line. So interesting team overall, man. And they impressed me today, although they played a very bad Jacksonville Jaguars team, right? New England Patriots at the Jets. Wow. Whew. Tough game if you're a Jets fan, man. First game in New York for Zach Wilson, and was not pretty. If you're asking me, man, I texted my co-host Steven as the Ravens pick up a first down on 3rd and 5, and I was like, man, they just need to take Zach Wilson out. I mean, bad for his mental. They just should have given him a break, man. I mean, 4 interceptions, right? 19 of 33 for 210 yards. Bad day if you're a Jets fan. Did not see what you wanted to see out of Zach Wilson, right? Bill Belichick did a great job, with this game plan. And I talked about this in last night's live stream. I talked about in this morning's live stream, man. I started Corey Davis in both my leagues, although I specifically said that it was a bad idea and that Bill Belichick was going to take Corey Davis out of the game, and that Zach Wilson was going to have nothing to do. He was going to be lost. I literally said it, and I still started Corey Davis in both my leagues, man. Big blow, man. And no matter who I started on my roster in both my leagues, I was going to lose. I got outscored no matter what. So, and we're getting decimated in our Madden franchise for the Catch Fam. Gosh, another injury to the squad, man. Jeez. We're already out like all of our best players, right? But, oh, God, he's getting carted off. I mean, it's just in tune with today. As we see Tyson Williams, did he score or is he down at the 1? I think they're calling him down at the 1. The process for interceptions is terrible for his confidence. Excuse me. Yeah, man. Getting back to that subject, man. The Jets showed some life today, right? In terms of their defense, they could have played a lot worse, right? But they played bad offensively. And I'm with you, man. There's no reason to keep a rookie quarterback in the game when he throws 3 interceptions in a row. And they did. And they let him throw another interception. I mean, he just looked lost out there, right? As Lamar Jackson to the right flips into the end zone, touchdown. Beautiful play, man. Going for 2 as well. Yeah, man, we got a good Sunday nighter. Hey, at least we have something to look forward to. Uh, Gosh, today was such a weird game, offensively and defensively. Geez, man. Mac Jones didn't have to do a lot in this game, right? But he played well, man. And I think, my co-host Steven and I were a little harsh on Mac Jones in week 1. I actually think, looking back at the tape and the stats, although they lost that game by a point to the Dolphins, right, I think Mac Jones played pretty well last week as well. So shout out to our guy Mac and Cheese. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him, especially when you're looking at the other rookie in his division, is Zach Wilson, right? So yeah, I completely agree with you. Process, man. Really bad day for Zach Wilson's confidence overall. Niners at Eagles. Slow burn game, man. A lot of defense involved here. Let's see what the Ravens do here on their 2-point attempt. Ooh, and nope, no good. Only up by a point. Yeah, only up by a point. Interesting. But yeah, slow burn game here between the Niners and the Eagles. I picked the Niners to win, and they just edged out the Eagles, right? Really weird game. Defenses both looked pretty stingy overall, right? Jalen Hurts looked good, man. I mean, that one bomb he threw in his own end zone, right? He did some good things out there today. And I don't know, man. We just kind of proved that both these defenses are still here to stay. The Eagles played pretty well defensively in week 1. The Niners did not play well defensively in week 1, but we expected them to, and they showed this week that they can play well defensively. But this was the game I saw the least of, if I'm being honest. I was watching primarily through Red Zone. Then I had a second screen actually with the Niners and Eagles game on, and every time I looked up, it was like defense was making a stop, or there was a small run gain going on outside of that giant bomb by Jalen Hurts, right? So yeah, I mean, this game actually wasn't that strange to me. This is one of the games that made more sense to me, right? Good defensive game, and the Niners just edged it out as the better team overall. But didn't help kind of the overall vibe of those early window games. Oh my gosh, Cleveland Browns at Houston Texans. Yeah, it's another player got injured today. Is Tyrod Taylor, right? Weird game, right? The Texans looked like they were right in this game. They were making some defensive turnovers. They actually played pretty well up until Tyrod Taylor getting hurt, and I just simmed an entire drive by our opponent, the Washington football team, in this Madden game. But the Browns played well. I mean, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are the heartbeat of this team, right? And that's the way it should be. When you're playing a game, or a team like the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1, then maybe it can't be that way. Maybe you need to pass the ball more. But if this Browns team can come out and they can run the football efficiently like they did today, they are a force to be reckoned with, right? And I liked what we saw out of the Browns today. Although, I mean, the Texans, obviously not a team that we want to underestimate at this point, but still not a fantastic team, right? So it's kind of a weird evaluation. But if Tyrod Taylor can come back from this hamstring injury, then I don't know, man. This Texans team might be kind of an upset sleeper team throughout the year, right? Don't have a lot of confidence in them. And they played well in terms of passing the football, right? And this Browns secondary did not play very well. So that's a concern when, you're having to potentially play teams like the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, right? And in week 1, right? So it's definitely scary, but I'm not surprised that the Browns won this game by more than one score. But I was a little surprised to see the Texans hanging in there a little bit earlier, on. So that being said, Panthers and Saints. This was a good game, man. The Panthers really showed up, man. Really, really showed up, as we've got a 1st and 10 for Patty Mahomes on the screen as well. Jameis Winston is not invincible. Maybe we saw a week 1 fluke against the Packers for the Saints, right? The Saints, they didn't look so great today, man. Like we went over, Marshawn Lattimore did not play, which I really do apologize for telling all you guys to start or not start DJ Moore. I didn't know that Lattimore was in that much, had that much potential to not play today, but he did not play, obviously. And DJ Moore had a good game. He did, he got in the end zone and everything. And Jameis Winston, man, 11 of 22 and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. A lot of you guys asked me about starting Juwan Johnson after what we saw last week in week 1, and I was hesitant about that, right? But, outside of that, man, I mean, Alvin Kamara, right? Only 30 yards from scrimmage today. Quiet game for Alvin Kamara. I'd be a little worried if you're rooting for the Saints. I think that if this defense can get healthy and they can do what they did to the Packers in week 1, then this team's still got a shot. But overall, man, little worried if you're a Saints fan, right? And, I mean, Christian McCaffrey looked as good as ever, although he was handed the ball plenty more times in the red zone and did not score. But that's okay, man. It's not entirely his fault, right, in a lot of those circumstances. So I think we didn't see exactly what we thought out of this game. And I did choose the Saints to win this game because of how their defense looked in week 1. I had one of those feelings about the Panthers, and I should have called this game based on my gut feeling. I did not. So, LA Rams at the Colts. This was a good game, man. This is probably one of the better games of the day, but unfortunately it did end with our guy Carson Wentz leaving the game, right? And it's unfortunate, man. Hoping to get a little bit more of an update on that. I mean, we know it's an ankle injury, right? But yeah, man, we hate to see the injury. Ended the day on a gloomy note, right? And yeah, man, a rough start for the Colts, right? And it's hard to keep up with this Rams team. Defensively, they're very good. I mean, the interception towards the end of the game by Jalen Ramsey, where he just ran around like the entire Colts stadium. This defense is good. Their front seven's good. Their secondary is good. This offense, there's a lot of chemistry already amongst Matt Stafford and some of these other guys, right? Cooper Kupp looks phenomenal. I think our guy D. Tendies looks good. I called D. Tendies. I called Darrell Henderson, right? So there's about 2 calls for me, Tim Patrick and Darrell Henderson. That's about all I got right here in week 1. But a good game, man. A good game nonetheless. Glad to see the Colts climb back in this game and fight it out. But Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey really, they're going to call the shots for this team. I mean, Matt Stafford, I don't want to say he just has to manage the game well. He's got to do more than that, but he knows what he's got in store with that defense. And these skill position players for the Rams look as good as ever. I mean, Matthew Stafford did throw an interception today. He doesn't look invincible, but he looks good, nonetheless. So a good game. I was happy to see that turn to a good game, but unfortunately ended with, Eason in the game and not Carson Wentz. So we wish Carson Wentz a speedy recovery as well. And shout out to our co-host, Steven. Sorry to see your Colts lose today, but I think you're used to it at this point, man. Anyways, CEG1212, would you do this? I get James Robinson. I give away Russell Gage and Mike Davis. I would consider it if you were getting another receiver as well. I mean, James Robinson, his usage is a little concerning right now, and it's something we talked about at the beginning of this stream tonight. And by the way, man, happy to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a good night. Hope you had a good fantasy Sunday, and you're enjoying the end of this Sunday night game. We're about to see maybe the Chiefs kick a field goal, and hope you did better in fantasy than I did. And if you're new here, man, welcome to the Catch Fam. Hope you consider hitting that subscribe button, man, and happy to have you here nonetheless. Appreciate that support nonetheless, man. But yeah, man, if you're getting a receiver, out of that trade as well to kind of replace Russell Gage, who I know hasn't really shown up too much at all. I mean, 0 points in week 1, 5 points in week 2, right? Then I think it's a fair trade, right? As we see our co-host Stevens in the house, and holy cow, what did the Ravens just do, man? Did they force a fumble? Wow. Nice. Crazy, man. That might be game. No way. No way. Are the Ravens gonna come away with this victory, man? Wow. And Steven, you just missed our special shout out to you going over the Colts. But yeah, CEG1212, man. I think if you can get a receiver out of that, especially since you're giving away 2 players, that it's worth thinking about. But I am concerned about James Robinson's usage right now. I truly am. And I would just think about that. But the way the Falcons offense has looked, I don't think it's too wrong to potentially try and get rid of some of those players while their stock is still at least somewhat in the air. Some people do believe in that team, right? I think Mike Davis for James Robinson is a fair trade, depending on which offense you have more conviction in, right? And if you have more conviction over, in terms of excuse me, I was looking up at this game again, watching angry Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. If you have more conviction in the Jaguars' offense on the season, then I think it's a good trade, man. But I would try to get another receiver. As I see you now saying there are good waiver wire players as well. Yeah, man. If there's some waiver wire potential at the receiver position, then hey, man, if you got the conviction in James Robinson, then of course it's a good trade. I will say that the Jaguars' offenses look bad, right? But I think the Falcons' offense might look worse at the moment. So just think about what offense overall you have more conviction in, and what player you think is going to have a better season. Because Russell Gage was someone I talked about a lot in the offseason as having a potential breakout year, and I'm not so sure at the moment that that's going to happen. So now I don't know how I feel overall about that Falcons offense, and we'd hope that Urban Meyer would get James Robinson more involved after just giving so much pressure to that of Trevor Lawrence here in these first 2 weeks, right? So yeah, man, uh, trust your gut, and if your gut instinct and conviction is there, then I think it's a good trade, man. And that's really when you're thinking about these trades, you gotta trust your instinct. As we see a 3rd and 7 for the Ravens, this should decide the game as the Chiefs have 1 timeout, so they still have a shot. And wow, the Chiefs hold them. So I see Steven saying, I hate CEH. I don't want to put you on the spot, Steven, as I haven't talked about your fantasy day. I've only talked about mine, but I did talk about your Colts having a rough day, man. And I want to put you on the spot, man. But I'll just say Steven's got a little wager out there on this game, and the Chiefs need to win it for Steven. So we'll end it there, man. But yeah, man. I hope the Chiefs win it for the sake of Steven. At this point, man, I hope all good graces for everyone else's fantasy teams, football bets, whatever you guys need to happen. I hope it happens, because I've had such a bad Sunday in terms of football that I hope to see some of my other homies out there as the Ravens go for it on 4th and 1, and Lamar Jackson converts it. Wow. Chiefs are out of timeouts, and that's going to be the football game. That's a great Sunday night football game, man. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Sorry, Steven. Steven will probably not be in the chat any longer, so shout out to our co-host, Steven. Thanks for hopping in and being modulating and giving us 1 or 2 comments, man. We appreciate you as part of the Catch fam and our co-host, man. And sorry to see the Ravens win this game, man. Okay, Raiders at Steelers, right? one of the bigger surprises of the week. I mean, this wasn't a game that I felt like was a strange game. I think the Raiders might be for real, man. I think it's about time. I mean, it's early. It's early in the season, man. It is, right? Small sample size. I want to know if you guys are up here in the live chat. Let me know overall how you guys feel about the Raiders at this point in the season, man. Uh, I think it might be about time we stop making jokes about our guy John Gruden, our guy Mike Mayock. Maybe they're up to something, man. Maybe we underestimated them overall, right? Maybe we underestimated Derek Carr, right? Uh, this Raiders team, man, came out and beat a good Steelers offense, right? And to add to the weirdness of week 2, I mean, the Ravens just won this football game, and I mean, it just kind of goes in line. The only thing left is for the Detroit Lions to win tomorrow, but not to sidetrack too much, man. The Raiders made the Steelers defense look a little silly, right? And we saw TJ Watt go out early, which had a big impact on this game, of course, right? But I don't think anyone expected a 26-17, final score, right? And I picked the Steelers to win this game just because of what they can do defensively. And I chose this game wrong, man. And I think it's time to stop hating on Derek Carr. It's time to stop hating on this Raiders coaching staff. I mean, let's face it, man. They came out and beat the Ravens in week 1 at home, and then they traveled to Pittsburgh and they beat the Steelers at home. At the Steelers home, right? And I don't know, man. Trey Turner got ejected early, which hurt the Steelers as well. Najee Harris had a good game, man. Happy to see Najee Harris turning up a little bit today, but I dropped Henry Ruggs. Bad move, man. He mocked me greatly. That was another slap to the face that I took today. Big fantasy day for Henry Ruggs, right? Darren Waller looked good as always. Hunter Renfrow looks like just a really good slot, security blanket for Derek Carr. They have good chemistry. I like what we've seen out of him so far. And, so far here in week 1 and week 2. Bryan Edwards looks productive overall, but apparently also half his touchdowns get called back, right? So that was interesting as well. Josh Jacobs did not play. So this was an interesting game, man. I mean, the fact that Josh Jacobs didn't play really only hurts the Raiders' chances, right? And, another weird game. Didn't end how a lot of people expected it to. But like I said, man, we might need to take these Raiders for real, bro, because the Chiefs just lost to the Ravens, right? And if I'm not mistaken, man, are the Broncos 2-0 as well? Hold on. Why can't I remember who the Broncos played last week? You guys can see how this Sunday has impacted me because it's been brutal, right? It's been brutal. Yeah, Broncos are 2-0. The Raiders are 2-0. And, man, I don't know, man. I wouldn't be sleeping on some of these other AFC West teams at the moment, man. It's always been a good division, right? But the Chiefs, they're going to have to put on their battle boots. I don't know. What are battle boots? I don't know. But they got to put them on, right? The Chargers in that division, right? I'm not even bringing up the Chargers who are, beat the Washington football team, then lost today to the Dallas Cowboys, right? So, I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting year. That's all that today has proven. Today was just wild. It truly was, man. And I can't. I'd like to hear in the live chat, man. Shout out to all you guys up here in the late night stream, man. Shout out to all you members of the Catch fam. I appreciate you guys. But let me know in the live chat what you guys thought the strangest circumstance was today, because there are plenty of them, right? And not only the strangest circumstance, but the most unfortunate circumstance, as we saw, a lot of injuries as well. For me, the biggest blow is Tua. And I just feel like I'm cursing players, man. Does the Catch fam, not the Catch fam, just me, just the Catch, do we curse players, man? Jerry Jeudy goes down. Tua goes down. Who's going to go down in week 3? I don't know, man. And So I've officially, my 12-man team is in the books. So yeah, we got to go over my 20-man team. We haven't even gotten that far, man. I only put up 96 points, and Lamar Jackson ended the game with 32 points. I mean, he had negative points. I was with my co-host Steven, my wife, and Steven's mom, and she just literally had our score pulled up. Looks like she's probably going to beat me by about 30. No, I'm doing math wrong. Well, yeah, at the end of the day, just around 30 points up. She just had the score pulled up, and Lamar Jackson with negative points. I hadn't even cleared 70 points when we were with them earlier. And yeah, man, rough day, man. But happy to see Lamar showed up, not just for my sake, but for a lot of the Catch fam who did go out and draft Lamar. And now heading into week 3 against the Detroit Lions, definitely have some positive, affirmation in that of Lamar Jackson. But gosh, I got slapped in the face today in my 12-man league. I'm going to pull up my 20-man league as well. Wow. I mean, listen, man, Tua got hurt, and I've still got Aaron Jones, right? So if Aaron Jones has 43 points, which is unlikely, but not completely unlikely, right? Then I win in my 20-man league. I have a 9% chance to win. It could happen. And Tua got hurt, right? I only got 0.65 points out of Tua. But listen to this, man. On my bench, James Robinson, 9.4 points. Over Corey Davis, who had, or could have been over Corey Davis, who had 2.8 points. Or DJ Chark, who had 2.9 points. So we hurt ourselves there, right? But outside of that, Rondell Moore on my bench, 24.4 points. Yep, Rondell Moore, 8 today, as did another receiver on my bench of the name KJ Osborne, who had 20 points. So there is a total of 50 points on my bench. If I had started those 3 respective players, well, I'd only have 40 more points because I still would have had to bench one of the, Tim Patrick, for example, or D10Ds, right? So, nonetheless, I would only need Aaron Jones to have about 11 points tomorrow. So, and that would have been with Tua with not even 1 point. So, that's what really hurt today in my 20-man league, right? Outside of Tua getting injured, I left 50 points on the bench. Yeah. But it's good news moving forward, right? Maybe I have some really good receivers who I got both of them off. Well, I drafted Rondell Moore, and I got KJ Osborne off the waiver wire. But I started Carolina's defense. Almost listened to our loyal subscriber, A1 Day 1 subscriber, made for TV _ and picked up the Chicago Bears defense. Should have trusted him, man. But I actually believed in Carolina. I had a good gut feeling about them having a good game, and I had a good feeling about Jameis coming out and throwing some interceptions today. I thought he'd play better than he did, but he did not. And I think Carolina still had a good game. Brandon McManus had his 13 points. Jared Cook, not as good of a showing at just under 6 points in full PPR. But we had it rough today. We had it rough in the 20-man league. Yeah, like I said, outside of Tua getting hurt, we left 50 points on the bench, right? Really 40 points realistically. So Steven is back in the chat. I hope you're doing okay, man. I know that Ravens victory was tough for you, man. As you say, 0-2, baby. Yeah. With as much pain as I'm feeling today in fantasy, it could be worse. It could be like Steven and be 0-2. And it looks like I'm going to be 1-1 in both my leagues. But I'm telling you, man, Aaron Jones, he's got a shot. You hear the cracking in my voice? Okay, guys? Aaron Jones got a shot at about 43 points. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not crazy, right? He's done it before, man. So, everyone, Catch fam, put some ice under your pillow. Put some spoons in the toilet, whatever your superstition is. Do it for me, man. We need Aaron Jones to score 43 points. And if I'm not mistaken, he's done it before. And the Lions gave a lot of rushing points last week to opposing running backs. So it's possible. And I pray to the fantasy gods that they bless me. But gosh, man, Rondell Moore on my bench, just under 25 points. KJ Osborne, just over 20 points on my bench. Tua gets injured. Don't know how serious it is. Okay, bruised ribs. Jacoby Brisket, man. We might be seeing the Brisket brother out there, man. Uh, Steven, since you're up in the chat, man, what was your worst take from week 2 of the NFL football season? Fantasy or from a real life perspective? And anyone else, any other of our Catch fam up here in the chat, let us know your biggest takeaway. Best takeaway if you guys had a good day. Worst takeaway if you guys had a bad day. We'll do it that way. Interested to see what you guys dealt with today, as I just got. I got slapped sideways, man. Today was rough. But it is a long season, man. It sure is a long season. But yeah, Jarvis Landry, I mean, another guy, he got injured, man, and it doesn't look good. And that hurts the Browns big time, man, because they need some of these skill position guys. And Odom Beckham has not been active, right? They need some receivers out there, man. Bradley Chubb of the Broncos, ankle injury today as we get scored on in Madden. We already know about Tua, right? Dalvin Cook, right? There's a point. I forgot about that, where Dalvin Cook was limping around out there. It was pretty gloomy out there. TJ Watt, who we talked about, TJ Watt went out, right? Trey Turner got ejected. I guess it's not an injury, right? But kind of not really what we expect to see out of a veteran player. Deontay Johnson, that's the one I'm forgetting about, man. A meaningless play, a play that not even going to matter, right? Play that didn't matter. Last play of the game, and Deontay Johnson goes down with that knee injury, man. Not good. And hey, I forgot about this too. CG1212. You should trade Russell Gage because he's questionable after the game. In today's action. So it might be a good time to trade him, man, if you can get rid of him. Would hurt your opponent, but wouldn't hurt you, right? Forgot Amari Cooper jogged off the field at a point. Of course, we saw Andy Dalton get injured, and Justin Fields didn't really impress being thrown into the action, right? Carson Wentz we know about, right? Tough seeing Carson out there hurt, man. I was really, this has just been the story of Carson Wentz's career, right? Consistently getting hurt, right? Tyrod Taylor hurt, which we talked about. We saw a lot of injuries to the Houston Texans today, right? It was a tough day. Oh, that's right. Taylor Lewan didn't play today. Panthers lost a left guard. Oh, that's right. Tremont Edmonds was cramping. That's not that bad, right? It was just a weird day, man. A lot of it was spooky out there, man. It was real gloomy, man. I didn't like it today, man. Today was just I don't want to harp on it too much because there were some positives as I just ran in the wrong direction on that Madden play. I had like a giant hole to the left there, but there were some positives to take away from today, right? Moving forward on the season, and it is a long season. Okay, I mean, when I was still playing in 3 leagues, in my homie Paul's league 2 years ago, right? I came out and I lost my first 6 games. And then I crept into the playoffs afterwards. So if you guys are having a rough fantasy season, if you guys are starting like Steven, 0-2, if you're starting like me, 1-1 and taking some really big slaps to the face, whether it's losing your starting quarterback, like I did with Tua, or whether it's just getting obliterated by your best friend's mom, who is traditionally very bad at fantasy, whatever it is, man. Sorry, Jane, you're not that bad at fantasy. You do a good job. But whatever it is, man, it is a long season. The waiver wire is there for a reason. We will do whatever we can, both Steven and I, to help you guys along the way to make these tough decisions, to make the decisions on who to start week in and week out, right? And it's a long season. There's a lot that can change throughout the season, and it's part of the process, and it's never easy. It's very frustrating. It's disappointing at times, man. But it's part of the fun, man. I mean, the Patriot way, right? You just got to pick up and keep moving, man. So, what do they always say? You got to forget about the what just happened, move on to the next game. I don't know what the Patriots mantra is, man, but that's the mantra that we need to take hold of here at the Catch, because man, it's looking rough. It's looking rough out there. This was one of the gloomiest Sundays I've had fantasy-wise in some time. But, yeah, man. What else happened today, right? I think we kind of covered all of it. I mean, Richard Sherman might get... I'm looking at the NFL app to see if there's anything I didn't go over. Richard Sherman might get signed, apparently. That's cool. Yeah, man. Ravens win by 1. That was a fun game. Probably should have done more call-outs on that game, right? But yeah, I'm interested to hear what you guys thought about Justin Fields' performance, because I was pretty underwhelmed, and I get he was thrown into the game, right? Maybe not the best circumstance, but nonetheless, man. I mean, this is a guy that we wanted. If you're a Bears fan, this is a guy that you wanted to see out there, right? So, it's Crypt. What's good, homie? Just traded Kelsey for Kamara in one of my side leagues. Interesting. What tight end are you going to replace with Travis Kelsey? Or not with Travis Kelsey. What tight end are you replacing? Oh, okay, now I see. I also have Darren Waller on this roster, though. Okay. Well, then that's fine, man. I'm not going to hate on that whatsoever, right? I'm truly not. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I have the remote for the TV. No, I don't. Give me one quick second, guys. I'm going to change the channel. See if I can't find any late night updates. See if there's anything that we missed. I was running 2 tight end flexes. Yeah, man. I can't imagine starting Darren Waller and Travis Kelsey every week. If you're asking me, I probably would have held on to both those guys. But hey, if you have the conviction in that of Alvin Kamara, then hey, I'm good with it, man. Got no beef with it. No beef with it whatsoever. It's all about your gut instinct, and I'd be interested to see Kamara and Chubb just too juicy of a core. Yeah, I can't combat that, man. I think listen, man. If you got Darren Waller at the tight end position, you're gold, man. I mean, I think Travis Kelsey and Darren Waller is pretty juicy too, but I like the move, man. I like the move, taking some risks. And, a bad game out of Kamara today, but the game script was not in his favor, right? And I like the move, man. I think Kamara still has a really good season. I think either way, he would have had a juicy lineup. So I like it, man. Looking at some of the stats from that Ravens-Chiefs game on the screen. That was a wild game, man. I really thought the Chiefs were going to win that game. Don't know about you guys, but yeah. I just had to do a late night stream. I need to talk to you guys because this was not an easy Sunday, man. This was it was rough out there. It truly was, man. It's Crypt. I'm hoping he puts up those 40 points come playoffs. Yeah, man. I hope he does too for you. I mean, that's one thing got to remember about Kamara's year last year. Although he was the number 1 fantasy running back last year, that one game, in December really had a lot to do with it. But Hey man, if you got Darren Waller, listen man, you're solid, bro. You're solid. And yeah, Nick Chubb's going to be tearing it up all season long, man. So I like the idea of pairing Alvin Kamara with Nick Chubb. I think it's a good move, man. Uh, but nonetheless, I'm also thinking about Travis Kelsey with Darren Waller, and I'm like, that's pretty juicy in itself. So, but hey, if you got the conviction, I'm all for it, man. All right. Well, the good news is we've been winning some Madden games for the Catch franchise, right? So, at least we're winning in something today as we just jinx that and we get a huge gain against us. But it's okay, man. So, yeah, if you guys are up in the chat, man, appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you guys showing that support, man. Appreciate all of the Catch fam. Always hand up. Let me know some more of your guys' takeaways here in week one, man. Excuse me, not week one, but week two, as it was just a weird, weird day. I mean, today really threw me for a loop, man. I think I got. I might have to start evaluating fantasy a little bit differently, man. Because it truly was. Today was a wake up call, man. This season's going to be a little bit different, man. And today, it really proved that this NFL season might not be exactly what we think it's going to be. Especially cultivating in a loss by 1 point by the Chiefs. It's Crypt. Felt the same, man. I like the two tight end a lot, but Lockett and Cup probably changed my mind on that today. Hey, man. It sounds like your roster's doing all right. And, yeah, man, if you felt like you needed some depth at the RB position, you wanted to pair someone better with that of Nick Chubb, then I think it's a good move, man. Lockett and Cooper Cup, pretty juicy too, man. I'm not going to fight you on that whatsoever, man. I think that those two guys just look great right now. And you think about where you could have drafted, or where you did potentially draft Cooper Cup and Tyler Lockett, and yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy how good those guys look right now. The chemistry between Matt Stafford and Cooper Cup is definitely there, and those deep balls to Tyler Lockett, man, they look wild. Russ and Tyler Lockett look so in sync right now. And Cooper Cup's really playing like the primary wide receiver one for the Rams overall. So, yeah, man, I think you got juicy combos all over that roster, man. So shout out to you, bro. Doing good work out there, making the Catch fam look good because myself and Steven, we're not putting on right now, bro, the way our fantasy squads are looking. So, Ryan, what's going on, my guy? Happy to have you in the chat. Welcome to the Catch, man. Welcome to the Catch fam, man. Hope you consider hitting that sub button, becoming a true member of the Catch fam. As I'm looking up and seeing Derrick Henry running all over the Seahawks on some replays on the screen, man. But yeah, man, happy to have you up in the chat. Hope you had a good fantasy day. Hope you had a good NFL day. You're not as gloomy as I am, and things worked your way. And hope you had just an awesome day overall, man. So, would you trade Waller and Gaskin for Antonio Gibson, DJ Moore, and Tanyan? It's a good question. I actually do think that's a good trade. You're obviously giving up, arguably, right? Keyword, the best tight end in the league. One of the most consistent tight ends from fantasy perspective in the entire league as well. But I think the overall depth, because I'm not really sold on Myles Gaskin at the moment, especially with Tua going down and that entire Dolphins offense potentially taking a little turn for the worse here early in the season, right? So really the only thing you're giving up is that consistency at the tight end. Week in and week out, you know what you're going to get, right? Every week you know what you're going to get out of Darren Waller, right? But I think you get a better running back in Antonio Gibson over Gaskin. I think you get a wide receiver number one, on the Panthers, right? And I like the way the Panthers look right now. So I think you get some good consistency there, right? I like Robert Tonyan a lot. Robert Tonyan is, I now see that you have Tyler Higbee as your backup. I like Tonyan a lot. Someone I've talked about a lot on this channel, talked about a lot in the preseason, offseason, took him in almost every mock draft I did, right? So, yeah, and I think if you have Robert Tonyan there, you're going to have good options every week between Robert Tonyan and Tyler Higbee, and you're going to get better depth at the running back position. You're going to get a better running back than Myles Gaskin, and then you get a true receiver one as well, who's looked very good in his first 2 weeks. But just know that you are arguably trading away one of the best players in fantasy football. But if it gives you better depth overall, then I'm cool with it, man. I like the trade. I think it's one of the better trades I've been asked recently. So you're giving up good value, and with good value comes hopefully a lot of good depth for your fantasy roster. So go with your gut feeling. Don't let me be the deciding factor, man. Always trust your gut instinct, and as long as you have conviction in the trade and the players that you're going to receive as a whole, then you're not going to be upset at the end of the day. But the worst case scenario is someone gets injured that you traded for or something like that. But man, I think it'll be all right either way. But I like Gibson more than I like Gaskin, and I think DJ Moore is a great wide receiver one, and I think you have good depth at the tight end position if you do take the trade. So, yeah, man, trust your gut, follow your heart. Not trying to sound, cheesy or anything, but man, it's really all about that. Your own gut conviction at the end of the day, man. So let's see here. Thanks for the question, Ryan. Appreciate you being up in the chat, man. Like I said, hope you consider becoming part of the Catch Fan. But if not, man, we just appreciate you being here and joining the live stream tonight. So if you have any other questions or comments, hit me up, man. We're happy to have you here. So let's see here. Real good. Do you think I'm going to win this week? I don't think so, but I'm just going to see your opinion. The score is 134 to 78. He has no one left. I only have Aaron Jones and Hawkinson. So you're down, right? You're down 134, 278, and you have Hawkinson and Aaron Jones. Well, hey, man, it's not impossible, statistically speaking, man. And I'm reading that correctly, right? I'm just going to say the score is 134-78. He has no one left. So I'm assuming you're down. I think it looks like It's Crypt thinks that you're up. Yeah, so the way I'm reading it, you were down. But so It's Crypt saying, Lime, LMAO, you got that one locked up. But I meant to say it's over. Okay, no worries, bro. Listen, man, we talked about this earlier in the live stream, right? I need Aaron Jones. GG, man, says It's Crypt. Hey, appreciate you being up in the chat, bro. Appreciate you always, man, being a member of the Catch fam, man. Thanks for joining and being involved as always, man. Hope you have a good night, brother. But, yeah, man, I need Aaron Jones to have 43 points in order for me to win in my 20-man league. So I will say that you have a chance, right? And Aaron Jones has done that before. And Hawkinson played very well in week 1, right? So don't lose faith, man. It's not out of the question, right? And if it does happen, you're going to have a really good time watching that game tomorrow. But obviously, it's a little bit of a stretch, right? As I need 43 points out of Aaron Jones. So let's do the math after I eventually tackle Dak Prescott here. Looking up, seeing the Raiders sacking Ben Roethlisberger on the highlights today. So, yeah, so you need, let's see, 20 plus 30 is 50. I'm doing math. You're up 4. So, yeah, you need about 46 points if I'm doing my late night, midnight math right. It's not impossible, man. And wait, did I do that math right? Yeah, go ahead and burn me in the live chat for not being able to do math whatsoever. So, yeah, you need 54 points. Okay, I think, I don't know, man. You need a lot of points, okay? I did not major in math, you guys can't tell. But It's not impossible, man. Crazy things happen in fantasy. And the way that week 2 has looked, it's not impossible. And like our guy, it's Crypt is saying, 55 points is a lot. I mean, the benefit that you have is that you have two players to potentially get those points. So, listen, man, don't lose faith, and I hope for your sake you do win, because that probably means that I have a better chance of winning my 20-man league, as I need about 43 points out of our guy Aaron Jones. So I hope Aaron Jones puts up 43 points, and I hope he puts up exactly 43 points, and I win my 20-man league. And I hope that TJ Hawkinson is the icing on the cake for you, and I hope you win your matchup, man. And don't lose faith, man. It could definitely happen. So, you know, I've seen worse circumstances, believe it or not, where people have won their fantasy games. So it's nothing's ever impossible. Is kind of the beauty of it, right? Lamar Jackson had negative points to start tonight, and he finished the game with about 34 points. So hey, crazy things happen, man. Let's see, Ryan. I'm thinking of countering the offer by switching Gaskin for Miles Sanders and see what he says. If you're asking me personally, I would hold on to Miles Sanders. I like where he's at right now, a little bit more than Miles Gaskin. I like where the Eagles' offense is at a little bit more. But if you got more conviction in, keeping Miles Gaskin, then that's fine too, man. I mean, 8.6 points today for that of Miles Gaskin. But I'm a little worried about the offense as a whole, as we've seen that injury to Tua, who we don't know exactly how long he's going to be out, right? And let's pull up the stats very quickly as I'm multitasking all over the place here. Miles Sanders, only 6.9 points today, but 17 points in week 1. So, yeah, man, whatever player you have more conviction in, then I'm good with, bro. But personally, if you're asking me, I would get rid of Gaskin and hold on to Miles Sanders. I just like the offense of the Eagles and where they're at a little bit more. But hey, man, don't let me be the deciding factor. Like I said, trust your gut instinct, and trade who you want to trade and get who you want to get, man. Follow your conviction, right? And that's what you got to do out here in fantasy. And sometimes, like I did today, you make the wrong calls, right? Sometimes you make the right calls and it feels a lot better. So I hope for your sake that it does work out in terms of your trade, man, whether you get rid of Gaskin or Sanders. So let's see. Ryan, I hit the sub. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you being a part of the Catch fam officially, man. Definitely have lots of fantasy content coming out throughout the week, and try to do more of these live streams on the weekend. So stay tuned, man. Hope we can help you out on the season, man, and appreciate you being part of the Catch fam and being up in the chat tonight. Hope you're having a good time, man. So let's see. It's Crypt. Not impossible, but 55 points is a lot. Yeah, Aaron could get 20 to 30, and Hawkinson had 20 to 25 last week. Yeah, man. So definitely possible. Real good. It'd been, like I said, I've seen worse scenarios and seen people win their fantasy squads, and I've had I've been in matchups where I've been up that amount and, suddenly been down. So nothing's impossible, man. Just don't lose faith. So real good. And by the way, Pollard and Zeke were sharing snaps. Hold on, I'm trying to make sure we don't draw a penalty in Madden. Which they both did amazing. Do you think I should start Zeke and start Pollard instead of James Robinson, or should I just start something else as my flex? I'd be interested to see who some of the other flex players are for you, potentially for you, as well as who's available on the waiver wire overall. I like what we saw out of Tony Pollard today, but I don't know how consistently we're going to see that, right? We do want to see a larger sample size, right? It was weird to see them come out and implement, that overall game style, right? I think Tony Pollard's going to be a guy that a lot of people are going to be looking at on the waiver wire. But regardless, I would hold off of making Tony Pollard a for sure starter. Although I know you're very, very frustrated with that of James Robinson, right? The problem is if the the Cowboys have a bad game, and they specifically have a bad game rushing the football, right? And I mean, 21 points out of Pollard is crazy, right? I mean, the stats were phenomenal. I mean, you're absolutely right. 13 rushes for 109 rushing yards and a run rushing touchdown, 3 targets, 3 receptions, 31 receiving yards. I mean, a very good game overall for that of Tony Pollard. And then, our guy, Zeke the Freak, right? I just tried to search Zeke and we didn't get any, nothing came up. I got to actually search his real name. Uh, let's see his final stat line as well. I mean, 16 points or so. I'm looking at half PPR stats, so they might not be exactly what you guys have, but 16 rushing attempts, 71 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown, 2 targets, 2 receptions. So I don't know, man. I think it's a little risky to jump the gun. I know how frustrated you are with that of James Robinson, right? But with that being said, we just want to see a larger sample size overall, right? We look at some of those week 1 performances, and a lot of people made bold assumptions off of the week 1 performances, and I just think that we do want to see larger sample sizes before we absolutely make a lot of these decisions, right? I'm trying to just quickly pull up what some of these upcoming matchups are going to look like for the Cowboys. So let's see here. Philly, Carolina, Giants, and New England. It's actually a pretty tough couple of weeks for the Cowboys offensively, right? And then they get a bye week, and then they got Minnesota and Denver, right? They got a good matchup in Week 10, and then they see the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Saints, Washington football team, New York Giants, Washington football team. Oh, Arizona and Philly. They got a pretty tough schedule if you're looking at things from a rushing standpoint. So let's see. My bench is really not that good, but my bench is Chenault, Kenyon Drake, Michael Gallup, and Johnny Smith. If you're playing full PPR, and by the way, you might be able to drop Chenault Jr. He might be a drop at the moment, man. I don't know. I hate to say it because he was a guy I was really high on, right? And the way that it's looking, right, he's a little banged up, and I don't know, man. He might be a droppable player. The Jaguars aren't looking that consistent overall. They're not really helping out Trevor Lawrence at all. I mean, Michael Gallup's a little banged up as well. So if you're asking me, I mean, I would consider starting Kenyon Drake at the moment. What was his final stat line? Let's go ahead and get that pulled up while we're at it, man. But I do think that I'm not trying to tell you to not pick up Tony Pollard, right? I think that Tony Pollard's a good waiver wire addition right now, and that he's worth stashing. But just be wary of the small sample size, right? We might want to see a little bit more out of him before we jump the gun entirely. Is all I'm saying, right? So let's go ahead and pull up Kenyon Drake's overall performance, his overall stat line, right? Let's see here. 8 points. That's half PPR. So, yeah, full PPR, he's getting you around 10 points a week, right? Really, where we're seeing the difference with Kenyon Drake is we're not seeing him get in the end zone, right? If he just got in the end zone either in week 1 or week 2, well, he's actually a really good start, right? So I would consider starting Kenyon Drake, especially while Josh Jacobs is out, right? But I don't know, man. I think Tony Pollard is a good start. Don't get me wrong, but maybe we kind of tamper those expectations, and we just kind of potentially wait to see how some of those. I'm trying to make the most absurd Madden Sorry, guys, it's getting a little late. I'm trying to make the most absurd possible outfit that I can for the Broncos. But yeah, maybe we just want to see a larger sample size for that of Tony Pollard overall. Is all I'm saying, right? But I do think that it's a good idea to add him in. I just don't know if we'll get too many repeat performances from what we saw today with the way that they split those carries, right? But I do think that it's not the worst idea, right? And I know that you're frustrated with James Robinson, and trust me, I am too, man. I truly, truly am. But what a weird week too we had, man. Truly, truly a weird week. I didn't even plan on playing another game of Madden, but we're already here, so why not? Let me know, Rio Goated, who else you're looking at out there on the waiver wire. Tell you guys, I've got quite a few waiver wire. In my 12-man league, I've got quite a few players queued up right now. And man, if you're hurting at the quarterback position, well, Danny Jones looks like a really good target. How about Cordell Patterson on the Falcons today? I mean, 7 rushing attempts, 11 rushing yards, rushing touchdown. I did have a fumble, but then 6 targets, 5 receptions, 58 receiving yards, and a score today. I mean, that just adds to the weirdness of week 2, right? I don't know how consistently we're going to be seeing that, right? But we saw it today, so let's see here. Rondell Moore looked great today, man. He's a player we need to start considering. He's got Jacksonville up next in week 3. Henry Ruggs, someone I dropped, 20 points this week. Got Miami up next. It's crazy, man. KJ Osborne, right? I mean, these guys we're all going to talk about in the morning for our waiver wire mania, but might as well do it here too while we're at it, man. Jack Doyle, pretty good game today. I mean, 10 points overall, a little bit more if you're playing full PPR. What did Dalton Schultz finish at? Just 2 points. Well, depending on if you play full PPR or not, right? Trying to go through some of the quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, really bad game. Matt Ryan, a better game here in week 2. We know that Tua got hurt. Let's see Zach Wilson's final stat line. Wow. Just about 2 points. Teddy Bridgewater, good game today. I mean, 21 points or so. Like to see where Jared Goff finishes today as well. Or not, well, yeah, at this point, technically speaking, today. Let's see. Tyrod Taylor, not that great. Sam Darnold, 18 points, not awful. Yeah. What was today, man? I think we covered it all, man, and now all we've got is we're gonna play some quick Madden here with these crazy jerseys we just threw together. We might sim the defense, try and get a quick game here, but yeah, I don't know what today was, man. Gloomy Sunday, lots of injuries. It was just all over the place, right? And man, I got smoked in fantasy. So, real good. Should I pick up Devin Singletary on the waiver wire? I think it's definitely worth a consideration. And Zach Moss got dropped in a lot of leagues after being a healthy scratch last week. And he had 2 scores today. So, he might be worth a look as well, right, if he's available. But, I mean, obviously the Bills beat up on the Ravens today. And in that process, both their running backs did look good. But, Devin Singletary, 13 rushing attempts, 82 rushing yards, touchdown. He did have a fumble, 2 receptions for 9 yards, right? Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Zach Moss while we're at it, right? Let's see here. Ooh, I don't know what I just did. Zach Moss. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I mean, not as involved, but still pretty well involved, right? 8 rushing attempts, 26 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns and a fumble. 2 receptions for 8 yards. So actually, kind of similar work between the two. So I like where Devin Singletary is at. But just know that the way that the Bills run things, man, they're gonna split that time between those two backs, right? And it's not really necessarily really their primary goal. Making one of those RBs being a primary RB1, if you're asking me. So I don't think it's a bad move, man. Do you already have Tony Pollard on your team as we throw an interception here in the red zone? Or were you looking to pick up Tony Pollard? That's what I'd be interested to know. Because I do think Tony Pollard's a good stash at this moment in time. I just don't know how consistently we're going to see you know, that type of involvement between both him and Ezekiel Elliott. So, but similarly, I don't know how consistently we're going to see Devin Singletary and I just noticed that Colin Kaepernick's playing against us on the Eagles, which is interesting. But nonetheless, yeah, I don't know how much of a consistent split we're going to see between that of Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, right? So I think Devin Singletary is also a good waiver wire pickup, but I think between Tony Pollard and Devin Singletary, they're better at the moment on the bench just to see how. And I see you were looking to pick them up. Yeah, hey man, if you're asking me, I would drop Michael Gallup and Chenault and go out and pick up Tony Pollard and Devin Singletary. If you're asking me, man, I think that would be the best move for your roster. And in the meantime, I would consider starting Kenyon Drake. So I think you've got options, man. But unfortunately, you're probably going to have to keep James Robinson on your roster and kind of let him sit on the bench for a little bit until we see potentially some more involvement out of that squad. And, way that the Jaguars are looking right now, I'm really hoping that they change things up and that they look to kind of implement our guy James Robinson a little bit more, who I was really high on overall in the offseason and preseason. So, and man, did I really vouch for him. I truly, truly did. So let's go ahead. Let's sim things defensively. Try and make this a quick game to finish off the night. If you guys have any further fantasy Q&A, let's try and get it in here as it is getting pretty late, and we do have to wake up and do some waiver wire mania on Monday, tomorrow. Well, it's technically today, but yeah, man. Definitely let me know what was your guys' worst takeaway from this strange week 2, and what was your guys' best takeaway. So for me personally, my best takeaway for my 12-man league, Lamar Jackson did show up after starting the game with negative points in 2 different circumstances with those early interceptions. And Tim Patrick scored a touchdown, man. I got the Tim Patrick call right as well. So as we throw an interception here in Madden. But my worst takeaway in my 12-man league is my team just as a whole did not show up, man. And I kind of panicked. I started Corey Davis. I put Cole Kmet in at the tight end position for some reason. I don't know, man. I had a bad week as for my team as a whole, right? So with that being said, man, I'm happy with what we saw out of Lamar Jackson. And really, on top of that, Antonio Brown, right? Antonio Brown played just didn't do a thing today. And I told a lot of you guys to have confidence in starting Antonio Brown this week, and that did not pay off, man. So, with that being said, man, did see some positives. So, got to find those positives when there's a lot of negatives, right? But, yeah, man, my 20-man league, worst takeaway, right? As we almost threw another interception in Madden. Tua getting injured, second worst takeaway. Well, second worst takeaway is actually my positive, right? We left over 40 points on the bench. But while that is painful, it does show that we have some good depth, right? And we have some players we can believe in further weeks. So I'm not going to call that a negative. Although it hurt us today, I'm going to call it a positive on the season. And hopefully Rondell Moore and KJ Osborne can find themselves in our lineups further down the line as well. So, big thing with that 20-man league is, man, I got to find me a QB. If I don't get that waiver for Taylor Heineke, then we're screwed as I throw a third interception here in this game of Madden. So I don't want to end the night with an awful game of Madden, but it looks like we're going to do that as, like I said, we're sending the defense for this game. But let's see. Rio Goated, Jarvis Landry might be out a few weeks. Do you think he might come back next week? Well, let's check, man. Let's check the specifics on that. See if we can't get a good update for you or not. Did go over it a little bit earlier in the stream, but let's see here. Jarvis Landry suffered a knee injury in the first quarter and did not return against the Texans. So let's see. Wow, man. Come on, Teddy, two gloves. Kevin Stefanski, head coach, said after the game, that Landry has an MCL injury and will undergo an MRI. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to come back next week. That does not sound good whatsoever. So I would be leery of having expectation of seeing Jarvis Landry in the lineup next week. I'm not sure that it's going to happen. It's tough, man, because he was really looking like a true wide receiver one with the absence of Odell Beckham, right? And yeah, I would tamper any expectations there, man. I truly would. I mean, just adds to the gloominess, right? Gloomy, gloomy Sunday. We're going to remember this one for some time here at the Catch Fam, man. Yeah, today was a rough one, man. And this game of Madden is a good representation as they were playing fine. I don't know what happened. This Eagles defense apparently too good for us, as I've thrown 4 interceptions to start this game. But if we score on this drive, then we're still in this one, man. Good play there by Sutton. Let's take a timeout. But yeah, man, I don't know what the Browns' answer at receiver is going to be. I mean, is it Peoples-Jones, right? Is it some of those tight ends? We're going to find out, man. We're going to find out what it's going to be, on the entire season, right? I guess is more of the question. But Baker's going to need that support, right? And really, I mean, maybe they don't, right? Maybe all they need to do is just run the football efficiently. And if that's the case, then they might be okay. But to take on some of these teams like the Chiefs, I mean, we've already seen in week 1, right? They need to be able to throw the football efficiently. So we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be interesting to see how the Browns finish out the year. So Rio Goated, let's see. Should I target Marvin Jones on the waiver wire? Yeah, I think he's a good target at the moment, man. He looks to be potentially the most consistent receiver on that Jacksonville squad, right? We haven't seen any consistency really out of DJ Chark, who had 12 targets in week 1, only scored once, only had 2 receptions, right? We know that Shenault Jr. is a little banged up, which helps, the stock of our guy Marvin Jones. So, yeah, I don't think he's a bad target on the waiver wire whatsoever, man. I think he could definitely help your team down the stretch, as we've seen, Trevor Lawrence really throw the football quite a bit, right? Probably too much. I think that, we talked about this a little bit. Urban Meyer probably needs to potentially consider involving our guy James Robinson, right? As he hasn't really been doing so. So, yeah, I think that's a good waiver wire target. Man, I mean, I went out and drafted Shenault Jr. in my 12-man league, went out and drafted DJ Chark in my 20-man league, and just sucks, man, because you're kind of guessing in an offense that we weren't really sure on who was going to be the top guy, and it looks like at the moment it's Marvin Jones. So, even if the Jaguars continue to play relatively poor, then that's still the wide receiver 1, and it's still going to hold more value than some of those other guys we just listed. So, I think it's a good waiver wire target, man. As I'm looking up on the screen and watching that replay of Jalen Ramsey just running basically all throughout the Colts stadium, which is just such a Jalen Ramsey thing to do. But gotta respect him, man. arguably the best corner in the entire league. So shout out to Jalen Ramsey here at our late night stream here at the Catch Fan, brother. So uh, yeah, man, crazy week 2 action. This will be like probably the most infamous week on the entire season, if you're asking me. Just a weird week. Like I said, the only thing that could top it off is if the Lions beat the Packers tomorrow. Probably the only thing left to potentially make this week even stranger. And it could certainly happen, man. Way that the Packers played in week 1, that is. But I think that the Packers, I mean, they have to come out win this football game, right? There's really, they just have to. I mean, the way they played in week 1. And if they let the Lions beat them, then it's going to be very interesting to see what people have to say about Aaron Rodgers, and his offseason, right? We're gonna go hatless to end the night, and I look like an egg with a headset on, but we'll be fine, man. Headset was starting to like squeeze my glasses and squeeze my hat, so as it's getting late here, we'll go in and we'll rock the egg style, man. Be a good fit to this gloomy week 2, as we've named it, right? But seriously, man, what was today? Today was just such a. I mean, like I said, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it was stranger because my fantasy teams personally didn't perform that well. But overall, I just felt like it was just such a weird week 2, and things just did not go how many of us thought it was going to go, right? I mean, some of these games did, but overall, we just saw a lot of strange things happen overall. So, yeah, man, yeah, it's gonna be a long season, but that's the beauty of it. It is a long season, and there's still plenty of time left overall. So, no reason to panic if you guys had a Sunday like I did, but yeah, it could be worse, I guess. And we've got plenty of time to turn things around as well. So don't lose hope if you guys had a gloomy Sunday like I did. But in terms of fantasy, that is, I mean, life is good, man. Life is good. Can't complain. Uh, can always find a reason to complain, but you don't have to. But in terms of fantasy football, I got slapped around. So, hey, man, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to finish the Catch Fam Sunday by winning the game of Madden and ending things on a good note, as we had a good Sunday night football game, man. You know, could be worse. Can always be worse. So, yeah, man. Jameis Winston's on my screen going up against Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's look good, man. I mean, 2-0 to start the season, man. He doesn't have to do it all. It's kind of the nice thing, and he understands who Christian McCaffrey is. Get him the ball, let him lead the offense. You're not the leader of the offense. Christian McCaffrey is, right, and just get the ball in his hands and utilize these skill position guys and let your defense do some work, man. And I like what we've seen out of Sam Darnold so far. Through week 1 and week 2, right? And like I said, he's undefeated through 2 games. So still plenty of time left to lose some games. But yeah, man, I like the way that the NFC South is looking outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? I think the Panthers have looked good. I think the Saints looked good last week. If they can get healthy again on defense, they might have something to say throughout the season, right? And I mean, yeah, the Falcons look pretty abysmal. But I mean, the NFC South for some time has been one of those divisions where it's pretty competitive. And yeah, man, I'd I'd definitely like to see it stay competitive and someone give the Buccaneers some problems come closer to those games that are going to have some playoff implications and all that as well. So see what happens, man. But yeah, I like what I've seen out of the Panthers, and they had a really good game overall today. Good division win. So what's going on, Ryan? All right, the guy accepted the switch of Gaskin for Sanders. So my RBs are now Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, and Gaskin. Technically, I have 4 running backs because I have Lamar Jackson. Yeah, you're not wrong about that at all, man. I do think you have 4 running backs, and hey, happy for you. being fellow Lamar Jackson owner with what we saw out of him tonight, yeah, a lot better than last week, right? Looked like the Lamar Jackson that we're used to, right? And looked like the guy that we wanted to draft. So uh, let's see. So I like your running back core, man, especially led by Dalvin Cook, right? I think that Miles Gaskin still has time to be a little bit more heavily implemented in that offense, right? So I think you're going to do all right, man. I truly, truly do. But I would definitely focus on having Dalvin Cook, obviously, as your RB1. And then if you're asking me, I would roll with Antonio Gibson as your RB2 and kind of continue to monitor that of Miles Gaskin. But yeah, man, I'm happy that the trade worked out for you and you felt like you got some of the players that you wanted and you got rid of some of the players that you wanted to while you could. So happy for you, man. Absolutely. All right, let's see if we can't score a touchdown here to take the lead. Yeah, all right, there we go. I actually started Stafford over Lamar today. It was my downfall. Oh no, man. Oh no. And I don't think that the Chiefs have actually been playing pretty well against opposing quarterbacks. And with what we saw Stafford do in week one, although a little bit of a tougher matchup here in week two against the Colts, right? But it's a tough call to sit Matthew Stafford, right? After that week one performance. So, man, I don't think it was an awful move. Obviously, it may have not worked out, but I think that I can certainly see why you made that decision. So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much, man. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who started Stafford over quarterbacks today, and Stafford still had a good game, right? But yeah, Lamar went crazy tonight. So, like I said, man, in regards to my fantasy roster, even if you have a player on your bench not play or play well, and players that you started not play well, even if it cost you a game, well, it's still not a total loss because still have those players on your roster and you still have some positive affirmation in some of those players that you went out and drafted. So don't beat yourself up too much for it, even if it was truly your downfall, man. Trust me, you could have had a fantasy day like mine where things were just completely abysmal. Kind of like this Madden play where we're going to let Dallas Goedert score so we get the ball back. But yeah, man, Lamar looked good tonight. He really did. And more importantly, he actually, he won the football game, man. Uh, that was a crazy game, man. 1 point, all it took, man. Can't believe CEH fumbled out there, man. I mean, I can, but also can't at the same time, man. But Ravens defense, I mean, they stayed poised. Lamar Jackson stayed poised. So it was a good game, man. Truly was. But yeah, man, I'm happy that the trade worked out for you and you feel good about it. Certainly do. But today, man, I know I should probably stop talking about this, right? But today was just, I don't know what happened, man. And tell me if I'm overreacting, man, but I really felt like uh, the NFL day as a whole was just off, man. I don't know, man. It just felt different to me today. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I had it rough in fantasy today, but like I've also said a couple times through this stream, it's a long season, and we got plenty of time to turn things around. Wow, that was an interesting throw there by Teddy. Let's take a timeout. Let's take a breather. But yeah, man, I appreciate all you guys who came out for the stream tonight. Who, like I said, man, I just needed to hop on here and get some of these. I was like, man, we got to talk. We got to talk about today before the day's even over, man. Because today was just it was a different kind of Sunday, and I appreciate all you members of the Catch fam coming out and joining the live stream, joining the chat, giving me some further fantasy Q&A and some further evaluations, man. Always a blast to do these late night streams, man. But we are looking to wrap it up here at the end of this Madden game. So if you guys have any further fantasy Q&A, go ahead and throw it in here in these final couple minutes. Let's see, Ryan. I think My best trade of the year was in my second league, where I only need to start one running back. And I have Dalvin Cook in that league. The trade was Joe Mixon and Deebo Samuel for Calvin Ridley and Cooper Kupp. Yeah, I mean, man, I can't fault you for that one. The way that Cooper Kupp is looking right now, uh, he looks phenomenal, man. He truly, truly does. And Calvin Ridley is going to be consistent throughout the year as well. Let's go ahead and pull up his final stat line. But I think it was a good use of. I mean, while depth is always good, don't get me wrong, right? It was a good way to implement what Joe Mixon has done early on here and get two really good receivers as well. So yeah, man, I think it was. We got to run a play here. I think it was a good trade as well, man. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Ridley's stats on the day. I would like to see his final stat line as well. So let's see here. Yeah, 10 targets, 7 receptions, 70 receiving yards, and a touchdown. He had a great day, man. So, yeah, man, I like what you did there overall. I think it was a good trade as well. Let's see if we can't get Cortland Sutton to score. We can't. So, man, but Deebo Samuel went a little crazy today as well. I wasn't expecting him to have as of a I don't know the words I'm trying to say, as such a consistent game from what we saw in week 1. I mean, he only had 13 points today, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 93 receiving yards, but not quite what we saw there in week 1, right? But still a very good stat line overall. So I like what you did there, man. I think you got 2 really good players, and you used Joe Mixon to your advantage, as well as that performance from Deebo Samuel very well overall. So let me go ahead and I want to see how Joe Mixon finished the day as well. Whew. Yeah, only 7 points. So yeah, man, I think that was a great trade. Really, really, truly do. Phenomenal job, man. Good calls there. All right, let's see if we can't finish this game with a touchdown and just call it a night, man. Come on, Cortland. Wow. Wow. Bad drop by our guy Cortland Sutton, man. We might be going to overtime. Yeah, looking up at the screen, man, just watching these 4 interceptions by Zach Wilson. I just don't understand why you just don't take him out of the game at that point. Oh, what a bomb. Beautiful throw to John Brown there. Beautiful, beautiful play there. Yeah, I'm looking up at the screen, and another interception by Zach Wilson. It was rough out there today, man. I really think they should have just taken Wilson out of the game. Give him a breather. So, let's see. Ryan, I was selling Deebo high off of one great week. Yeah. I mean, absolutely, man. Like I said, I think he did a good job of using that to your advantage. And I'm a 49ers fan. Yeah, man. Always hurts when you're seeing one of your players do so well. One of your hometown players do so well. And you have to kind of use that to your advantage, right? And so, yeah, man, I give you credit for trading away a player on your squad as well, man. I know it's not easy. So, I mean, me being a Washington fan, I don't have a lot of players to trade outside of maybe Scary Terry and Antonio Gibson. I guess at this point, the way J.D. McKissick looks, and hey, in deeper leagues, Heineke looks all right too. So, yeah, man, give you credit for getting rid of Deebo there as well. So, I think we're going to go ahead and as we did get a victory there in Madden. So, good way to end the night. We had a great Sunday night finish to the Chiefs and Ravens, but gloomy Sunday, man. That's what we're chopping it up to. But it's a long season, so appreciate all you guys coming out for the live stream. Appreciate all the new members of the Catch fam that we got tonight, man. Gonna have a lot of good fantasy content coming your guys' way throughout the season as well. And we're going to bounce back, man. It was a tough Sunday. Looks like we're going to get 2 losses unless Aaron Jones has 43 points. Then we'll get a victory in my 20-man league. It's not out of the question, but we'll see what happens, man. So with that, man, I thank you guys so much, of course, for watching and or listening. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. Thank you guys for being active in the live chat, giving me some good fantasy Q&A, getting me involved in your guys' potential trades and actual trades, giving me some good takeaways from week 2, and just, supporting the catch and giving me, a little bit of feedback on what was an awful week 2 for myself. So with that, of course, I already said thank you, but I do truly thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for supporting the channel, man. It's been a blast, here in week 2, man. We gained a lot of subscribers out here, so appreciate you guys. Appreciate the catch fam. And I will see you guys on the Monday morning waiver wire mania video. Should have that posted, by noon or so, if not earlier. So look out for that video tomorrow. And yeah, man, we'll bounce back from this week 2. And I hope you guys enjoy the Monday night game, Lions and Packers. Should be a fun one. I think the Lions will show up somewhat in that game like they did in week 1. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Hope you guys enjoy the Monday Night Football game. Thank you guys as always, and I will stop rambling on. Shout out to the Catch fan. Remember, as always, you saw it here.